Most beginners, freelancers, and entrepreneurs are building chatbots and low-value systems for $500, while companies are paying plus 15K a month for high-ticket systems that actually move the needle. The problem is that it's not that you are not talented, you're just in the wrong market. So if you want to play the game at a higher level, you gotta start thinking bigger. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna give you 3 high-ticket systems that I've personally sold before. These are systems that you can sell today that have extremely high ROI because they solve the main problem. How do we get leads? How do we get prospects? And how do we get more customers? So let's get into it. Okay, so you have 3 systems. The first one is a system you can sell to literally any B2B or B2C business that sells to local businesses. Think plumbers, roofers, doctors, restaurants, whatever, any local business. The second one is a system you can sell to recruitment agencies, which what I like to call the job posting machine. Okay. The third system, this is if you want to sell expensive stuff, also B2B, which is funding alerts, which has the best quality, but it also has like a smaller list. So let's talk about the first one, which is the GMS system, which is basically like a Google Maps system. Well, this system searches Google Maps for businesses, for example, dentists in Miami, restaurants in Los Angeles, whatever. And then it gets their name, website, phone, email address, saves it to Google Sheets automatically, and then it emails it to the client directly daily for that premium delivery, which I think this is like the highest ROI thing. Because think about it, like when you are building a system or like when you're trying to sell a system, think about it, the end deliverable, which is going to be the end result that the client is going to get. It has to look premium. So even like a simple email that they're going to receive, well, here's your data, here's what the system did. It just increases your perceived value and it just makes the deliverable way more valuable than it actually is. Okay. When in reality, you're just connected like a simple node, send email, or like a simple make.com module that just sends emails that takes you 2 seconds. Okay. And then this system runs on autopilot every single day. No coding needed. You're just gonna have to plug and play and just fill in the blanks. So even if you've never done this before, you can simply just plug and play the system. And this is for all the systems. You're just gonna get plug and play, right? So let me walk you guys through how it works. So I'm gonna click on it right here and I'm gonna walk you guys through it. So essentially what we have here is this system is going to run daily at 9 a.m. every single day, and it's going to run an actor in Apify that scrapes Google Maps. Let me walk you guys through it. So it's a Google Maps scraper here. Let me go to Apify. So Google Maps from this guy, Lucas, okay? And it just scrapes local businesses within Google Maps right here. And then after that, we're just waiting 60 seconds because the scraper has to scrape data. So we need to wait a little bit. And then we're checking the scraper status. So if the scraper finishes scraping, we're pinging it and saying, hey, did you actually finish scraping? And if the scraping is done, well, we're going to continue the flow, get in the data, clean it, and then get all the emails within that company. And then we're filtering the emails that were found, adding to Google Sheets, and then we're emailing the client. Now, if the scraper is still scraping, we're just going to wait another 60 minutes, and then we're going to check the status once again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it right in front of you right now. Let me just unpin this previous data that I have. So the Google Sheets that I have is basically just like a template, Google Maps leads. This is the one, has nothing here, as you can see. And I'm just going to pull up my email so we can see the actual email that the client is going to receive. So I have nothing here, obviously. So right now I'm simply just going to click on run, done. If you go to runs, there we go. So the scraper started running. And there we go. Scraper finished scraping, as you can see here. So it finished. Now let's go and get all the emails. As you can see, we're cleaning the data right here. We have everything here, the address, the category, every single thing. And then we're getting the emails and then boom, done. So let me go to my email. There we go. Daily leads report with the actual date. So, hey, John, just finished scraping new leads for you. They already added to your Google Sheets. Click here to view your leads. All leads are ready to upload to your campaign. Questions or replies to this email best sought. Now let's check out our Google Sheets and see. There we go. We have all the leads added. We have the emails, which is awesome, right? So we have everything here. We have the leads, and then the client is gonna get every single day the new leads updated with as an email. Okay. Now this is some extremely high ROI because think about it. Like, let's think about it from the client's POV. Well, the usual workflow without actually sending the email will be they're gonna remember to check Google Sheets maybe once a week. And they're gonna have to log in into Google, find the sheets, review the data, and now they wasted 10 to 15 minutes per check. Now, let's say they forgot to check. Well, now the leads that they want go stale, so there's no urgency. So what's gonna happen now is the client is gonna message you, okay? It's gonna ask you, well, hey, did the system or the scraper run today? You're gonna check NA10, check the sheets, and you're gonna reply, yeah, there's 1,000 leads there. Now we wasted 5, 10 to 30 minutes per day, right? And time is money. So we're now essentially not a growth partner. Well, now we are customer support. Okay, we're just a normal builder, right? Well, the result now is the client is going to perceive low value because they don't see the work happening in real time, which is basically like an unconscious human behavior. They need to see that the work is actually being done. Okay, and now they're going to cancel after 1 to 2 months. Lifetime value is 600 to 900. Now, with daily email, which is going to be the automated delivery that I just showed you, well, the client workflow, they're going to open their email 9:05 a.m. because the system is going to only take like a couple minutes. It's going to run at 9 a.m., 9:05 a.m. The leads are already ready. They're going to see 1,000 new leads already ready. They're going to click on the link, review the data, time 30 seconds. Now, what's going to happen is now you're giving them a daily reminder of value. Here's what you're paying for. So it creates urgency, feels premium, and now they're staying with you for like 12 months. Now the lifetime value jumped from $600 to $900 to $3,600. Lifetime value is basically how many months they're actually staying with you, working with you, and actually paying you money. So your workflow right now is nothing. Literally nothing. You build the system and that's it, okay? In your case, you're just gonna plug and play it. So the system runs, email sent automatically, time wasted, 0. You look professional, client never questions if the system is working, and the client perceives high value because they see daily progress. And by the way, you can literally package a system and sell it to any B2B or B2C business that wants to talk to local businesses, okay? The only thing they have to do, really, and is simply just get this, and maybe they have like a VA that just clicks on file, upload, and just adds it to instantly. It takes 30 seconds, or like less than that, 15 seconds. Okay. You can also package it as like a done for you system, okay, that you already built, and you can just sell it to any business, right? And you can sell this offer to every local business. You can even put it as like a done for you system already ready that we can just install into your business that's already working. And the only thing you have to do is basically just fix up a couple credentials and get them like on a retainer, which is going to be a maintenance. Well, in reality, the maintenance is going to be like 2 to 3 minutes, maybe if someone in their team just messed something up or like a Google authentication. So as you can see, like it's pretty high ROI. You build it once and you have leverage, like you're going to get paid for it months and months and months on end, and you can package it and sell it to multiple others. Okay, you can even have that in your landing page, like a done for you system. Okay, I'm gonna leave you the email along with the Google Sheet template and also this TLDR playground, right? Along with the system, obviously. So now let's talk about price and how much can you actually pitch for this system. Okay, well, a couple things. Once you build the system, they can't easily replicate it because technical barrier. Obviously, founders don't have the time to actually build this stuff. And even if they leave, well, they have to rebuild everything, which sucks, right? It's a pain in the ass. And also, this daily email creates a habit, which is a dependency on you, which creates this Pavlovian conditioning. If you guys don't know, Pavlovian conditioning is kind of like how you train a dog. When you ring a bell, they remember that's like food. So it's kind of like the same thing. So Pavlov was like a Russian scientist that basically was running scientific experiments on dogs back then when it was legal, right? It's insane. In terms of the pricing strategy, you want to have like a setup fee of like 1,500 to 2,098. As you can see, I specifically made this like a non-round number, so they don't think as you just pull that out of your mind, right? Make sure always when you price is a non-round number instead of like 2,000 is like 2,091 or like 1,094. Okay, just make it a non-round number. This covers your time building the workflow, which is going to be obviously plug and play for you. Custom targeting setup, Google Sheets, email templates, training plus handoff. In terms of like the training, the only thing you have to do is basically just record like a quick Loom video of you walking them through the system. Here's how it's going to happen. The only thing you have to do, just go ahead and check your Google Sheets. It's going to take you 3 to 5 minutes, you know, maximum. And just so they feel that they're getting a lot of things. Okay, it's called value stacking. in terms of like monthly maintenance, they're gonna have to pay you at least like $300 to $512, which is gonna be covering the API cost, which is gonna be obviously Google Map Scraper is not $0. I mean, they have to cover the maintenance, which is gonna be maintaining Amplify, basically like NA10, right? Supports adjustment. In reality, I include all these things just so they say that they're getting a lot of things. But in reality, I'm just spending like 5 minutes like doing all this stuff when they read like covers API costs, system monitoring, data delivery, when it's reality just 30 seconds of you like maintaining all this stuff, which is the cool thing because now you have the skills, right? You have the skills, so you can leverage that because they're not paying you for necessarily doing all this stuff. They're paying you for all the time and energy that you spend building this stuff, like literally squinting your eyes on an na10remake.com. So it's kind of like that analogy of when someone hires like a plumber and they have like they have to fix like a sink and the plumber just fixes the issue in like 30 seconds and they're like, that's $1,000. Well, they're not paying the plumber for that, just simple fix. They're paying for all the years they spent learning the skills, right? So your profits is going to be like 253 or all the way to like $481 per month. Okay, think about it like it's 80% margins. And in terms of like scaling this economically, you will build it once and sell it all the time, which is going to be infinite ROI, which is the cool part, right? So you can sell it for like 4 to 5 clients easily. You are at like 11K a month just by the system build. So in terms of like your time investment, probably 2 to 4 hours if you want to replicate the entire system from scratch. But in your case, you're just gonna plug and play. In terms of like maintenance, 30 minutes like a month, just checking the logs, etc. Checking NA10 while you're sipping your coffee. And in terms of supports, like 15 minutes a month, probably because you're just gonna answer some generic questions. In reality, they're getting everything in the email. Okay, they can just click and boom, everything is there. All right, let's talk about the next system where it gets a little bit more advanced, okay? So this is called a high-ticket deep search job searching. Now, this system is every morning, again, 9 a.m., it's going to automatically scrape active job postings in any niche, gets the companies, finds 10 to 20 decision makers, and then enriches with insane personal data using a platform called People Data Labs. If you guys don't know, there's this platform called People Data Labs, and not a lot of people actually know about it. It's kind of like Crunchbase, Apollo, LinkedIn on steroids. Okay, and I'm gonna show you guys how it works. So it's gonna enrich with insane personal data. 3 email addresses, work and personal. 2 phone numbers, work and also mobile. Home address, city, zip, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter profiles, education history, schools and degrees of those decision makers, past 5 employers, skill list, top 10, certifications, company size, revenue, industry. So literally every single thing. It's kind of like, it gets creepy at this point. And then it's gonna dump everything to a Google Sheets, organized clean columns with no duplicates. And then it's gonna send a Slack notification with direct link to Sheet. Client clicks and sees the gold mine. So let me walk you guys through the system. Is gonna be the high ticket deep search system, which is this one. So we're scraping the job listings, we're structuring the data, splitting in batches, and I named this matrix people search, which is gonna be this people search API. So we're structuring the data, saving to Sheets, and we're only sending if the leads are found, getting the Google Sheets, preparing the ping, and then we send in a message to Slack. So let me just go to Slack right now. And I'm sending it to this channel. It's called New Jobs. So New Jobs, as you can see, there's nothing in here, okay? And I have a template here. It's called High Ticket Deep Search. So High Ticket Deep Search. I'm gonna have to go to my drive and get it. This is the one. So I'm gonna delete all of this here. And then check this out. So I already have like a node here pinned. So I'm simply just gonna unpin it. There we go. Unpin this. There we go. And if I run once, check this out. The reason why I pinned this because I do not want to waste my any mail finder credits. So I'm getting all the rows, as you can see. I'm getting everything here. And People's Labs is insane. So there we go. I received everything here. New recruiter leads ready. Found 20 decision makers at companies actively hiring. Quick stats: one company, senior contacts 12 with with mobile numbers 20. And then we're also sending top jobs being hired. I have here practice administrator, and check out your Google Sheets. And there we go. We have every single thing here. We have even their websites, their Twitter, which is absolutely insane. We have the mobile phone, the LinkedIn, the work phone. This is their mobile phone, by the way. Like you can, like they can literally call them. Like the recruiter, the value that they can get is that, let's say they send an email to this guy, and then they didn't reply. Well, there's another email they can reach out to them to, which is their personal email. If they don't reply, which probably they will answer if it's their personal email, they're gonna call their work phone, and then if it's not, they're gonna call their mobile phone. So the leads never fall through the cracks. So this extremely high ROI. And the cool part is that it runs every single day. Every 9 a.m. there's like a new recruiter leads for these recruitment agencies. Okay, so that's extremely high ROI. Now let me walk you guys through how we get the job listings. We're just using JS search, which is like from Rapid API, which is going to be JSearch. This is the one. So JSearch. We're just using their API here. And then we're essentially just using people search lab, which is this one. And then we're just using an endpoint, which is going to be this one. API.people data search labs v5. So obviously you're going to get it when you download the system. So you can just copy it, okay? So let's recap what the value that the client is going to get. Well, they're going to get, think about it, the home address with street, city, and zip. Direct mobile phone, which means 10 times higher pickup rates on mobile versus office line. Companies actively hiring right now. And also deep personalization data. So since you're not like generating any emails for them, you're just selling them the system, like usually like the email that they send is like, hi, first name, we do recruitment. Now with this data you gave them, well, now they can say, hey, Sarah, saw X, Y, and Z is hiring for like a practice manager. Given your background at Cleveland Clinic and your MBA from Duke, you'd appreciate our 14-day placement guarantee for healthcare director roles, blah, blah, blah. So think about it, like they have the data now, so they can essentially just run it themselves. In terms of like the pricing structure, you can totally price this from like 8,000 to 9,500. I've sold this multiple times for like 8 to 9,000. Usually when I'm pretty bottlenecked and I have other clients to work with, I just sell the system hands off and I just record like a beautiful, amazing documentation, which is going to be just a Loom video of me talking, explaining everything, and I just install it into their business. You can totally sell this from like 8 to 9K because it's going to cover custom workflow build. Obviously, the API integration, because JSearch, this is the platform PDL, which is people's data labs, Google Sheets, Slack. Niche targeting setup. This is what they're going to tell you. Let's say they're going to be like, well, we want companies hiring for IT engineers. The only thing you have to do is just go to JSearch, figure out the filters for like JSearch, and you're good. The Google Sheets templates, you can just copy it. Slack integration is going to take you 5 minutes because you already have the systems. And the training and handoff, which is going to be what you're gonna do. Okay, now at scale, if you sell this to like 2 to 3 clients, you're already at like 30K MRR. And the cost, because you will cover the cost, because since now they're paying you a higher fee, like 8K, I would highly recommend you just cover the cost, because you can't tell them, well, pay me 9K and then also cover the cost, which is gonna be like 3K. Okay, so if you really do the math, like 10 hours of work is going to get you like $1,000 per hour if you really do the math in terms of the leverage of the system. And another thing, since they're going to be using this system, okay, and it's going to allow them to get intros and conversations with these companies hiring, well, if they just place one candidate, because this is what recruitment agencies do, they essentially just place candidates in front of companies hiring. So the system facilitates that, right? It connects them to companies that are hiring. That's exactly what it does. Now, when the call happens between them, well, if they manage to close and place one candidate within those companies, well, 1 to 3 placements each at 30K, that's already 150K a month in commissions that they get. Because recruitment agencies, if you guys don't know, they place candidates. And whenever they place a candidate, they collect 20-30% of that initial salary of that candidate. So if it's an AI developer, they get, let's say they're making 120K a year, they're going to get 30% of the initial salary. So the system pays itself 50 times over with one placement per year, right? So you can totally use that in your pitch in, okay? or like in your sales calls, whatever, you can say, hey, here's what's gonna happen, and here's why this justifies the pricing. All right, let's talk about the third system, which is a system that I built live in this channel. It's called the Funded Multi-Touch Automation. I totally used this to get my own clients and also sold it to multiple B2B businesses. Now, this system automatically finds company that just got money from investors, okay? So recently funded companies. You can sell this to literally any B2B business. You can sell it also to recruitment agencies because it's a pain signal, right? When a company raises funding, if you guys don't know, well, they're not just raising funding for fun, right? Since they have money now, well, they're looking to hire more people and expand, which means they need recruitment agencies, right? So you can sell it to recruitment agencies, okay? Because it's a signal for them. They can use it to find companies that recently funded and reach out to them, right? So the offer is going to be, this is your offer, your pitch. We'll build you a system that finds companies that just raised, for example, plus 5 million and hiring for roles you specialize in. The price you're going to pitch is going to be around like 3,000 to 4,000 plus 1,500 in terms of like the maintenance. You can also sell it to agencies and B2B services, for example, sales, AI, design, marketing, dev shops. And your offer is going to be, we'll build you a system that feeds you a daily pipeline of recently funded companies so you can pitch before your competitors even know they exist. As you can see, this offer is outcome focused. Always. I'm not just talking about the system, okay? I'm not talking about NA10, like talking about JSearch, People's Labs. I'm talking about the outcome, which is what they care about. Okay, they care about pitching their services before the competitors even know they exist. In terms of like pricing, in terms of like agencies, highly recommend do not pitch less than 5K, okay, 5K plus $1,000 in terms of like maintenance. You can also sell it to VC funds and accelerators, which is exactly the people that I sold to the system. So I said, we'll build a backend tool that feeds your portfolio warm leads, partners, hires, tools, vendors by tracking who just raised. Check this out, right? This is a good offer. The price is going to be at least 7,500 because these folks already have money plus 2,000 a month maintenance. So you want to say, well, these companies need clients, talent, and infrastructure fast, and funded companies are literally the easiest leads for you guys to close. This is what you say to these VC funds and accelerators. Sometimes it's also investors. You can literally target investors, send outreach messages to investors, and pitch them this system because they have to do this manually, okay? They pay for like Crunchbase, which is around like $3,000 a year. So they can essentially just invest 7,500 for a one-time fix, okay? And you can just manage everything for them along with maintenance. So you can also say this system gives your clients the edge by reaching them first. So let me walk you guys through this system again. Let me close all these tabs, go here. I've already built this system before, as you can see. It's called the multi-touch. I'm gonna go here. As you can see, the first step is it runs every 14 days to check the alerts, and we're using something really cool. It's called News Funding API. So News Funding, it's called News API. So essentially locates the articles and breaking news. And what we're doing is we're looking for keywords like raises money, funding round, or investment. So and then we're only pulling them for TechCrunch, VentureBeat, Crunchbase.com, BusinessWire. These are like websites that include like the recently funded companies, and they do that every single day. Okay. And then essentially we're filtering, waiting, and then we add it into a Google Sheets again. So it's called Funding Alert System. So I'm going to go to this Google Sheets again. There we go. We got the funding title, the company name, etc., everything. So let me just execute because I already have pin data right here. The only thing you have to do is just unpin it and plug in your API keys. If you're wondering what this get linked in, make sure to watch that video. It's basically like a Google search. Just like a Google search, we're searching the LinkedIn of the company. And there we go, done. So we have everything here. We got the emails. So Pete at doorstep.ai. So obviously the list is going to be small. This is the whole point, right? Because these are recently funded companies like 2 days ago. Doorstep announces our 8 million seed round. See? So how the hell are they going to get this? Plus 10 billion. So this is a really good, this is a really good company. Doorstep. There we go. Doorstep is 8 million from TechCrunch. Source, TechCrunch. See? That's extremely, extremely high ROI. So let's check the data actually. So we get in everything here, and then we extract in the data. So there we go, which is awesome. That's extremely, extremely high ROI. Again, you guys can just replicate the same success and just copy and paste. You see this clean decision maker? We're just cleaning the decision maker name, okay, which is going to be typically like the founder. And then we're finding the emails, appending everything, and looping over items, and then we just add in every single thing to Google Sheets. So hopefully you guys found value in this video. Like I say, these are high-ticket systems that actually solve real-life business problems, right? Not just, AI chatbots or like AI agents that do nothing. Like the end result here is always going to be a customer, money made, a conversation that happened, which is exactly what every 7 to 8 figure company wants, what every like rich, successful business owner that runs a business wants. Okay. So hopefully you guys found value in this one. I'm going to leave you guys all the blueprints in the description. Have a great rest of the day. Make sure to get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.